Good morning, students. Welcome to the class on solutions. We have just discussed about distillation, normal distillation and vacuum distillation. Of course, distillation process is used to separate mixture of solvents. Generally, when we have mixture of solvents, mixture of two components or three components, we will purify them through distillation. When the boiling point difference between the two liquids is very large, generally more than 30 degrees centigrade, then we can easily separate them through normal distillation. If the boiling point is very, very high, it is more than 250 degrees centigrade, then we will do vacuum distillation. And if the boiling point difference is around 25 degrees centigrade or less than 25 degrees centigrade, then what we can do? How we can separate these two liquids? Normal distillation, it is not possible if the boiling point differences are very, very less. So we will go for a modified distillation process, which is called as a fractional distillation. If the boiling point difference is less than 25 degrees centigrade, then we will go for fractional distillation. What is fractional distillation? It is little extension to distillation process where we will have a fractionating condenser in this condenser. There will be another glass rod like this. This is called a fractional distillation condenser. This is called fractional distillation condenser. So not normal condensation, we will use distillation condenser, whereas for a fractional distillation we need fractional distillation condenser. Then of course it is attached to this is collector RB. Now we will use cool water inlet, water outlet, and if it is required we can also place a thermometer here. We can also place a thermometer here. So this condenser is called fractional distillation condenser, and we can attach normal condenser to this at the top of this column. Now, what is the principle in this fractional distillation? When we have boiling point differences which are less than 25 degrees centigrade, then when we apply heat to this, then what happens? The liquids, the mixture of liquids in this RB, they will be vaporized. They will be vaporized. When they vaporize, they need to pass through this column. Now this column is having additional glass tube or additional columns. Then they will, when this vapor touches this column, they will easily condense. They will easily condense. Because of this, what happens? When the solvent gets vaporized and when it touches this column, it gets vaporized, it gets condensed. So As a result, the overall liquid is not that easy to get into vapor state. So this vapor, if it has to pass through this entire column, it is difficult for this. So that is why when we do it for prolonged time at a constant temperature, then what happens? Only a boiling, low boiling liquid will reaches the top of this column first. So that will undergo condensation and will be separated. So this is what is called a repetitive distillations. Repetitive distillations. When we boil it, the vapor will, when it reaches fractional distillation condenser, then again it will undergo condensation here itself. So it is not passing through this. Here itself it will undergo condensation. Then it will come down. So because of this, what happens? The boiling solvent with low boiling will reach the height, this height, and then it will undergo purification. Now, what is the reflex condenser? Generally, when we perform organic reactions, most of the organic reactions need some thermal activation. Most of the organic reactions need some thermal activations. So then only they will work. So at high temperatures, they will work. So for that, what we will do, we will add a reflex condenser. We will add a reflex condenser. This vertical setup is called as a reflex condenser. Vapor will, when the solvent is vaporized, it will come like this. Now this inner glass tube is having outer glass covering where we will have cool water inlet and the cool water outlet. So vapor will give its energy to this cool water and again it will get condensed and then again it will come back to the reaction. You know, when we want to do a reaction at high temperature, then solvent will easily evaporate and it will escape from the reaction mixture. Then what we will observe? We will observe loss of solvent. In that case, what we need to do? We need to continuously add solvent to avoid loss of solvent, right? When we, if solvent losses, then reaction may not work properly. So in order to minimize the loss of solvent due to evaporation, what we will do, we will add a reflex condenser. This also we have in our chemistry lab. You can see it when you visit the lab next time. So when we add a reflex condenser and when we pass cool water to circulate through this condenser, then vapor, which is the compound which is vaporized, will again condense in the reflex condenser and again it will come back to the reaction mixture. So we don't observe any loss of solvent. So this is what is called a reflex condenser. So there are four different condensers: normal condenser, vacuum condenser, fractional distillation condenser, and the reflex condensers. The first three condensers are used for purification of solvents. When we have mixture of solvents, we can purify them. In a fractional distillation, in principle, we can separate a mixture of solvents whose boiling point differences are 1 degree centigrade. In principle, it is also possible if the boiling point difference is 1 degree centigrade, then also we can separate the mixture of solvents using fractional distillation. Now the fourth one, reflex condenser, it is used to minimize the loss of solvent due to evaporation. So it is just used to minimize the loss of solvent. It is not a purification technique. It is used in organic reactions. Now, what is the fractional distillation? The process of separating one liquid from another liquid, which are having a boiling point difference of 25 degrees centigrade, by using a repetitive distillation is called as fractional distillation. Generally, if the boiling point difference is 25 degrees centigrade or less than 25 degrees centigrade, then we will go for fractional distillation. If the boiling point difference is 30 degrees centigrade or more than 30 degrees centigrade, we will go for normal distillation. Now, I just forgot to add one more important concept here. We will add porcelain pieces. We will add porcelain pieces for distillation. I'll just write the structure. In the porcelain piece, we will have pores inside it. We will have pores inside it. So these pores can be used to trap the solvent molecules or air bubbles. Now, when we supply heat, what happens? The bottom molecules will absorb more amount of energy. They will be evaporating faster than the upper layer. So as a result, what happens? Suddenly, we will observe some bumps or some explosions, which will result in improper separation. So in order to avoid this, we need to have uniform heating throughout the solution. We must have uniform heating throughout the solution. So uniform heating throughout the solution can be achieved when we add porcelain pieces, small pieces, to the solution. Then what happens? These porcelain pieces, they will be at the bottom. These channels or cavities, they will absorb whatever the vapor molecules which are generated at the bottom. When they absorb vapor molecules, and then when they are heated to very high temperatures, what happens? They will release these vapor bubbles. As a result, these vapor bubbles will be escaped to the surface fastly. These vapor bubbles, whatever trapped inside these porcelain pieces, they will be escaping fast to the surface. So once these vapors are escaped, these cavities become empty. Then again they will absorb some more vapors at the bottom in the porcelain pieces. After some time, these vapors will be escaped to the surface. Again, this process will continue, so that the bubbles at the bottom, vapors at the bottom, will be circulated to the top. Then top liquid will be coming down, so that this process will ensure uniform heating throughout the mixing, throughout the solution. Azeotropic mixture. A mixture of two or more liquids which boils at a particular temperature and distills over completely at the same temperature without undergoing any change in composition is called as azeotropic mixture or constant boiling mixture. What are azeotropic mixture? For example, when we have two different components in a solution, whether they are miscible or immiscible, whether they are miscible or immiscible, it doesn't matter. Now, say for example, water and ethanol. Water boiling point is 100 degrees centigrade. Ethanol boiling point is around 80 degrees centigrade. When we have a mixture of these two, and when we supply heat energy to this, what happens? At a particular temperature, they will form a uniform mixture. They will become a uniform mixture with a particular composition. So this is water and ethanol. Say it will be in some X is to Y ratio. X is to Y ratio. So at a particular temperature, what happens? These two liquids will form a uniform mixture with a particular ratio of composition. Say 1 is to 10 or 1 is to 1 or 1, 2 is to 1, something like that. And they will distill at this boiling point completely without changing composition. That means, say for example, before distillation, if this mixture forms a uniform composition with 1 is to 2%, then after boiling also the two liquids will be in 1 is to 2 ratio. So distills over completely at the same temperature without undergoing any change in composition. So that is what is called azeotropic mixture. When we try to purify a compounds which are capable of generating azeotropic mixtures, then it is difficult to purify pure compound. The distillate is always a mixture of solvents. The distillate is always mixture of solvents.